I've never seen that before. So you can cut the camera off? Oh, didn't know that. That's a feature on live where I guess if you need to do something for a second, you could push the little camera button and then it'll come out black where the person cannot see you. Did not know that. What I usually do is just push my phone, like click the screen off, and then hopefully when I come back, the screen still works. Sometimes when I do that, um, there won't be any audio when I come back. But anyways, how's everybody doing? It is first. Let me introduce myself. What it is, you guys? It is yo girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Draw My Life prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping, cause you got to hold your breath for justice. To see justice before all face too bleak. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, guys, I'm coming through today, July the 5th, 2025. I gotta work in a couple hours. I got about, what is it, 11:30? I got 5 hours. I need to get everything set and ready because I am planning to head to visitation tomorrow. Y'all know my husband was just recently transferred. Just got a call from him. They still have not updated his information, which means he still cannot get food. Like he can't go up to the window. I can't send him money, and you already know how they feel about the food that is served there in Chow. So he's saying that he right now is on a liquid diet until he can get money. It's always it's it's very overwhelming. It's I don't know. But anyway, so we're gonna get ready to go see him. So I have to be completely ready, have the kids completely ready. I already gave my daughter the money to go get the notarized letter because I need a notarized letter to bring to be able to bring my grandchildren to visitation because this is a new facility. The old facility, once they have the letter and they seen the birth certificate once, I no longer needed to bring it. So I was just up, running, and go. So now this is starting all over. So when I get off tonight and get, I am sorry, I always forget before starting to completely cut the sound off. I promise you, people don't need to call me until I decide to record a video. That is so loud and overwhelming. And I never end up having the time to go back through and clip it out my video. It just destroys the quality of the video. Irritating. But that's what you go through as a content creator. But yeah, so my daughter was going to go get the letter, and I told her to have the birth certificates out, make sure that she has clothes for them that is going to be approved. The girls, you know how little girls wear those outfits with leggings? They can't, even if they're little girls, they cannot appear to be tight at all. Each facility has their own nitpicky things, so some places don't allow open toe shoes, some don't allow sandals, some don't allow flip flops. So I wanted to wear my flip flops that I usually have. I have nothing but my work shoes and flip flops. So I'm going to have to find some type of shoes as backup shoes just in case. I need at least two outfits because they love to complain. So it'll be something that they'll swear is tight when it's really not, and you need to go and change quickly. They'll always direct you. I promise you, I don't care what prison you go to in Florida, it's always a Walmart somewhere close. And they'll direct you over to the Walmart. Like, oh, it's just way up there, and you could just go and buy something to change. So, want to avoid that. I don't know what I'm in for. After the first visit, at least it will be some time in between because I will not be visiting the direct next week. So I will know what to expect and it will be easier to prepare for that next visitation, I hope. Um, but yeah, so that's what I'm doing this morning before work because when I get off of work, I will get home by midnight. It is my goal to get up and start showering, getting ready by 5 a.m. So you see, that leaves me really no time to sleep. I usually get off and work on my content, but I will not be able to do that tonight. I have to train myself to come in the door and go straight to bed. Sorry, my contact is bothering me. Go straight to bed so that I can get up for visitation on time. And then many times when I do go to sleep early, I just sleep through the snoozes like I did this morning. I didn't wake up to 10:30. Like I literally only been up an hour. But if I wake up tomorrow at 10:30, then I'm gonna miss visitation, or I'm gonna drive that far just to get caught and count. And you already know what that is. I don't know what time this facility counts, and that's how I usually each week would wake up too late when he was closed, and I would just barely make it before count. But that's what it is. Like that's what I'm doing this morning. So I have a couple of I guess call it announcements. I'm sorry, I am legally blind. Y'all heard that in the intro. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping to see justice before it all fades to black. I have an eye condition called keratoconus where my corneas are protruding out to where they're going to rupture and bust. This eye is going to bed. I see nothing out of this eye but watercolors. I somewhat can make out shapes. I solely rely on this one eye, and I have a hard contact that oh, and I gotta make sure to soak them contacts because I don't want to be on the road with this thing hurting like this. But I have a hard contact that can correct my vision. It can't correct it fully, but it adjusts it enough to be able to still drive. So that is why I'm fooling with my eye. I am legally blind. And then it's to before it all fades to black is basically saying that I want to get my husband home before my eyes rupture or before I need cornea surgery, transplant. I actually already need it on this side, but I'm delaying until this eye is just as bad as that one. Once that happens, I'm not going to probably be able to see, to be fighting, to be drawing, to be painting, to be advocating like that. So I really need him home now, but it's not happening. I'm not getting you know the actual push I need to make this story break. And then, once a story breaks, people jump in and help you. They pitch in and help. Because people, honestly, the humans don't like injustice. They do not like injustice. A lot of injustice happens because people just don't know about it. Um, but I do want to do a couple of announcements because there are some people that have been. I want to actually list out all the people that have supported me over time. It has been few, but it has been some special folks that have been supporting me. So look for that to come. And I started only wanting like those people when I came to TikTok. I was like, I don't even accept people that if you've never um, supported my Free Marcello movement, my Project Reach the World, if you never supported, I don't want to add you. I don't even accept you. I don't care if we're family. I don't care if we're so-called friends, if we're so-called church members. You knew me from church long ago. I don't care because you're not supporting what I need. I need my family back together. So those that do not support, I am trying to weed them out and off of my channel. I really need them off of my YouTube too, because YouTube is analyzing that, hey, we're sending this content to your subscribers, but those subscribers don't give a damn about this situation. So they're not watching this content. I need them to go too. Only those that are truly here to help me break the story and get my husband home is who I need on my channel. But because it's hard to weed out my YouTube, my TikTok, I definitely went by that. If you didn't support me, you didn't like nothing, you didn't share nothing, no, I did not accept your nothing. No. And I didn't follow you back because I'm not going to keep giving my support out and I don't get it back. I give a lot of support. Whoever I watch, baby, you got plenty of comments from me, though my hands are carpal tunneled and hurting and it's very difficult. You get plenty of likes. Anything of yours I like, I watch, I like. Because I don't take people's content without giving back to them. I know how hard it is to be a content creator. I do not do that. I do unto others the way I would want to be done unto me, but it does not get done back unto me. So I have to learn to sever those ties, those one-way relationships. I can support you, but you cannot support me in my journey to getting all I want is my family back together. Like literally, they could have supported me since the days of MySpace, and I would not be on YouTube today still begging for the same thing, to help me break my husband's story, or to just share, or to just like, so the algorithm can do its thing. But it hurts people to, you know how a lot of content creators say, click the like button, it's free support. They don't care. They still don't even want to give you that free support. But they want support. They want whatever they put out. They want people to watch it. They want people to like it. And those that are making it, they would not be nothing without their viewers, subscribers, and the people that are supporting them. But they think that they're higher. They think that they're better because they have more views. No, you were just fortunate. You were just blessed that your hands' work took off. And there are some whose hands work, my carpal tunnel hands, just did not get that blessing. Anyways, first is Miss Jacqueline Watkins. So her handle on YouTube is at Jacqueline Watkins 8966. I came across her on Mr. Taylor House Publishing's YouTube channel. He did a video with her a couple of weeks back where she is an ex Chicago officer. And she was shedding light on injustice that really does, sorry, it keeps stopping, that really does happen within these departments. They gaslight us to believe that it is not happening. All they're doing is keeping us safe. They're always doing the right thing. They sit up on the lap of God because, you know, the reason my husband is wrongfully incarcerated, one of the reasons, they botched his case from beginning to end. But wrongful convictions start with wrongful arrest. The wrongful arresting of my husband started with the officer. An officer that is also accused with excessive outing of a man that was already on the ground. They already piled him on the ground, and they continue to pile him, and the rest of the officers with him continue to pile 50 more times. And when asked why the excessive over outing of this man, him and those officers had all different accounts. They conflicted one another. The same thing happened in my husband's case. They came to trial. Him and two other officers all had different accounts of what happened in my husband's case. He actually gave back the alleged victims their sworn affidavits when they wrote that my husband, Marcello Jackson, robbed them of $80, signature, signed, wrote it out. And when my husband was searched and only found with $60, the officer took their sworn affidavits, gave it back to them, and told them to write in, cross out. If you see the sworn affidavit, which was presented during court, it shows 80 crossed out on two people's statements and written in 60 with the signature. And one of the guys put a little smiley face over the initials, showing that they had amended it. He said so that it can line up. The judge seen this and said, wait, we cannot charge Marcello with robbery because the money does not align. The money is not the same. He went on to drop armed robbery of a weapon that the same officer said that they gave good search for but could not find, and still was able to attach. So they were able to attach a hearsay weapon to my husband's case. They have no fingerprints, no DNA, no evidence, no witness, no nothing. And they were able to have my husband convicted. This same officer also change the alleged scene of the alleged crime so that it can align with my husband allegedly robbing these guys of $60 in the parking lot of a club. My husband was at the 7-Eleven just a street over. They would not release surveillance from the 7-Eleven nor the club, but they went by the officer's word that they were traveling on the road that connected the club, when in actuality it's the road that's going this way. That's where he said that he seen Marcello Jackson, and he claimed he seen him. It was at night. He seen him far down the street. And what's so crazy, from the point that he says he's seen Marcello in that parking lot, the road curves over. There are bushes and trees and everything obstructing your vision. It is not a clear shot down the street. You have to come around and then go straight. But he said he can see through trees. He could see through the night. He could see all of this to see my husband allegedly rob some guys of $80. He made all that stick. He started it. If he hadn't have wrote up that false report when he attempted to arrest Marcello, he should have said, I don't see nothing on him. He doesn't have it. He should have let him go. Rather than him letting him go, he made the ish stick. And because they made it stick, because he wrote that false report up, his affidavit, his arresting affidavit, conflicts his testimony in court. So she's telling how they're doing these things. It's in Chicago, but this is she's from Chicago. I was born in Chicago, but raised here in Florida. All my family's in Chicago. Now they've gotten out the city and they're like on, I'm sorry, it's getting hot. I'm getting myself overwhelmed. All my family's in Chicago, but now they've moved out to the outskirts, like to Maywood and Westchester and stuff like that. Everybody done got out the city. Nobody lives in the city no more. But my mother, my father from Chicago. My auntie had the best soul food restaurant in West Side Chicago. But this police officer, she is actually telling how these injustices, ex-police officer, she's no longer on the force, but she's telling these injustices. And it's not just local to Chicago. This is kind of happening everywhere. And his lies are why my husband was snatched out of our household. They affect a lot of lives. He is the reason, with his other colleagues, why that woman's son in the other situation I told you was not just arrested because he was powdering on the ground once. You were supposed to arrest him and take him in, not pow him 50 more times and delete him. But that's what he did, which leads me to think that because my husband's wrongful arrest happened before, is that it put a battery in his back. Oh, I could do what I want and ain't nobody gonna check me. Who gonna check me, boo? Like in the words of Sheree. Who gonna check me? So one leads to another. When you let them get away with injustice, it escalates and it keeps going down the line, and other injustices happen. So she is working on that, like revealing that. I've seen her on Taylor House Publishing. Taylor House Publishing is also breaking a lot of stories of things happening here in Florida. Um, a lot of cases. I was just watching one now of wrongful, powing by officers of a man. It's a BLK man because it seems like it always is. But her name is Jacqueline Watkins 8966. I thank you for watching. I've seen you comment on several of my videos. I commented and thanked you for your testimony over on Mr. Taylor House Publishing's channel, and then you came over to mine. That is such a blessing. Thank you so much for watching my content. All I'm trying to do is get my family back together, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you for your comments. I tried to comment, but this channel, this platform, a lot of times when I comment and I actually try to rephrase things, it takes so much to comment because you really can't say what you need to say or want to say or are meaning to say. You have to hide it. You have to, because you can't just be outright, because you know that we are, SENSORED. No, I'm sorry, CENSORED. You know that we are. Can't say what you need to say. That makes it very, 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 very difficult to bring injustice to light because you can't even tell about your injustice. You can't tell your story. So I truly appreciate you coming here and watching my videos. It means so much. Thank you. And thank you for telling your story as well. That is helping so many people and is validating that we're not just, crying wolf. Okay, and then there is a commenter, SDRL-X5U. And I've seen a couple of comments from this user. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you so much for listening to our story. I know that you mentioned to write the YT house and write TRUMP and tell him my story. I mean, so it's weird, and I thank you for the suggestion, but the upper people, like, they know what's happening. And though they're supposed to be there to oversee and uphold justice, many times they uphold the injustice. And the injustice runs high. This is how it happens. It starts in the local level, state level, injustice is upheld, and it's even upheld all the way up. So in this society, it's very hard to get justice. I very much feel like they know wrongful convictions are happening. I used to think they were wrongful convictions by mistake. I really think they're now purposeful wrongful convictions because they always stem. Now that my husband has been wrongfully incarcerated for the last 23 years, I started studying wrongful conviction cases. And I realized they always have consistent things that happen. In each one, I can almost tell you the reason before even listening to the case, before even knowing anything. It's like you could just take the name of the person wrongfully incarcerated and take the case and just flip them all around, mix them up, and put them on different cases. I bet you they still have the same elements because this is their procedures and practices that cause these wrongful convictions. This is why we want reform. But we get fought tooth and nail for reform because most blindly uphold it and think that it's working correctly when it is not working correctly. It's working correctly in their manner to meet quotas. That's what the whole overall goal is, because prison is basically a business. I'll say it like that. It's a business, and they need the product by whatever means, whether you're rightfully or wrongfully. So when you are wrongfully, they don't too much bat an eye. They don't. So I don't know that that would even get me too far, because I believe he already knows about these type of injustices. Um, but they're usually okay with these things because these things are what keep us, you know. Many are eating off of this situation, and it's not just me. This is a situation that happens to many households. Even Miss Jacqueline Watkins commented back that she had a loved one that was wrongfully incarcerated. Like, it touches so many homes. And I cover so many cases. If you want to see many of the stories of those wrongfully incarcerated, wrongfully convicted, some exonerated, some still in there, I have on my channel the playlist Marcello Jackson, wrongfully convicted Florida man. That playlist, it starts out with Corey Miller, and then it goes on to many stories of wrongful convictions. So you can just start there, and if you just Google wrongful convictions, you'll see that there are so many stories, and nobody believes the person until they've broken their story and gotten their story in the media, and until their sentence wrongful is. Now, I do not know. I have my phone on silent. I really don't know why it rang that loud through the phone like that. That is overwhelmingly loud and truly messes up my video. And then I don't have the time to go back and edit. I'm sorry, guys. Please forgive me. But that was my daughter calling because she is at the place trying to make the letter for visitation tomorrow. But I get sidetracked, so I don't know where I left off, but we're gonna move on. Oh, I think I was saying how this injustice stuff is upheld. You really couldn't have it happen unless people were upholding it. It could. I know you kidding me. Crazy. So she says, I'm so sorry again. I told her, do not call me back right now. Just text me. Gosh. They said that there's no notary on duty at the place. We usually get the letter notarized for the kids to visit at Amscott. There's no notary till 1, and she has to rush off somewhere. So it's always something. Ugh. I'm gonna have to edit this because it's so loud. And why doesn't it stop ringing? That's what I don't understand. I got it down. I got it silent. I got my phone on silent. I got do not disturb. And it still rings loud as jail through the video. It's so aggravating. I'm so sorry, y'all. But we're gonna try to keep moving. Okay, so for these injustices to happen, they have to be upheld to the fullest. This level upheld. So basically, when the officer wrongfully arrested my husband, that was upheld by the court. And then the court continued, the prosecutor, they continued to damage the case, mess up the case. I have a video where it's almost like an assembly line, and I am a restaurant employee. When we have people with allergies, we have the less hands touch it, one person. And as it goes through to the next phase, it has the possibility of being contaminated. So you have to take extra care. And that's what happens in these cases when it goes from the officers, when they botch it there. when and if they botch it there. Not every case is probably botched. I don't know. Maybe they get some cases right, but in this case, it's completely wrong. And instead of finding what he did wrong, they just upheld it at the next level. And the prosecutor should have said, no, there's not enough evidence. We are not going to even try to bring charges up on this man. Drop it, let him go. Instead of them doing that, they escalated it to the next level. Yes, we're going to bring him to court, though there is no evidence. There's nothing even linking him to this. These people are lying. They ran off from Florida after this happened to Vermont because they did not want to come and tell their lies. They never gave any sworn affidavits. They rejected subpoenas to be spoken to about this case, and we should just drop this because it's too much going on. And instead of that, they proceeded to to go through trial. And then even when trial was all over the place, you got 3 officers just basically every statement conflicted with one another, and it conflicted with the 2 alleged victims, and their stories conflicted. So you have 5 different testimonies conflicting. And my husband's testimony is the 6th, very much conflicted. So you got 6 different stories of what happened, and nothing makes sense. Nothing actually corroborates with the evidence or lack of evidence except for my husband's story. All their other stories leave holes, leaves confusion, but they escalated it and allowed that to happen. And then when the judge sat there and seen and caught them in so much stuff, once they found him guilty in the highest with a weapon, was even told you can charge him without a weapon if you feel like a weapon was not there, if they haven't proved the weapon, which they did not. They didn't prove a weapon. They still charged him in the highest with the weapon, and that escalated his time from 10 years to 40. The judge sat there and allowed it. And then on top of that, came in and over-sentenced him. So it goes all the way up. Right? Now, this judge that wrongfully, sentenced my husband, right after that, see, he was building his resume, moved up to Supreme Court judge. So it goes up. It all just goes up. So going to the top to basically tell them what they're doing at the bottom, yeah, it doesn't, I don't know. It's sad, but this is why they like to keep it under wraps, because they don't want us questioning these things. Okay, and then the second shout out I want to give, well, third now, is Rajiva at Rajiva _ the THA Rula RULAA. Yes, I love her. She is a content creator. I actually did a Project Reach the World drawing of her. If I do have time, girl, I can link it in the description box. But she did 10 years, almost 10 years for something her boyfriend did. And because she was present with him, she didn't have a knowledge of what he was doing, but she went down. It's like a hot potato. They get the hot potato off of them. It doesn't matter who actually committed the crime. Somebody's just going to go down for it. Her boyfriend at the time, threw the hot potato off on her, and she took the charges and took the time. Miss Rajiva, I love her. Now she's a returning citizen. She's doing her thing on YouTube, and I had left a comment on her video and never expected. A lot of times I know content creators are big. I don't expect them to actually comment back, but she did. And this is what she said. I actually commented back to her, and the platform deleted it. You'll go back looking for your comments and it'll be gone. This is why it's so difficult to break these stories. You have a whole freaking system set up against you. It's not conducive of justice, though they label it justice. But she wrote, "I'm sorry to hear that. That's a long, so her video was basically about the plea, and I was saying how I just wish my husband had took the 17 years plea. um, he didn't because he was innocent, and innocent people are gonna really want to fight for their innocence and their day in court. Like always, people tell you, "Oh, don't take the law into your own hand. Wait for your day in court." Like, what the heck is a day in court? That's a stage play. But they say wait for your day in court, right? I wish he hadn't took that ish to trial. They rigged that up, allegedly, and wrongfully sentenced him, convicted and sentenced him. I wish he had just took the 17 years plea. Though it would have been wrongful, he would have been out because Florida has 85%. He probably would have did 14 and a half years. He is now on year 23 and has another 12 years. He's due more game time, so I'm going to round to 10. He's done 23 plus 10, so he's going to do almost 33 to 34 years for something he did not do. Or he could have done 14 and been out before our daughter's graduation from high school. He could have salvaged some of his life. And that's what a plea really is about. How much of your life can you salvage? It's really not about, allegedly, for entertainment purposes, about if you did it or not. It's about how much of your life can you salvage. Because they're going to, unless you got stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks, they are going to make this stuff stick. Allegedly. A poor man has no, an innocent poor man has no chance in court. My opinion. And an innocent poor man has not a single shot in court. Justice, right? But her reply is, "I'm sorry to hear that. That's a long time behind, I think she meant bars. And salute to you for being there for him all this time." And that comment back from her, meaning that it may have been short, but it meant she seen me. She appreciated me being on her channel. She appreciated me watching her content, because without people watching your content, you're nobody but me. You're not making an impact. You're not making a difference. You're not nothing. You're not even making a dime. So thank you, everyone that is watching me. And I do see things ticking up. So maybe it just took me longer. Maybe I'm the tortoise. You know, the tortoise in the hair. Maybe I'm the tortoise. But I appreciate you guys. But her comment made me feel so good, because I have been going through it behind my husband being transferred lately. And that just really put in perspective that I am seen. And thank you for even listening to my story. I really appreciate it. I tried to comment back, and I went back and seen it was deleted. So she just thinks I did not comment back. Really? Okay. And lastly, last night when I got off of work, I came across another wrongful conviction story. This one is from maybe 3 years ago, that it was in the news or whatever. But, you know, when we learn about them, I'm going to share them, because everyone needs to know that this happened. The hardest part of my journey has been getting people to even believe that wrongful convictions happen. They don't believe they ever happen. So they definitely aren't going to believe my husband is wrongfully convicted. So that's why I've gotten so much friction with fighting his case, his story, because people think I'm lying. They think I'm just defending a criminal. But I can give you all the evidence. If you stay here long enough, go to that playlist, because you ain't going to stay here long enough. And I ain't got enough time. I got to get ready for Vizzo, right? And for work, my work shift, because I work to live and live to work. I hustle hard until it hurts. Work my fingers down to the bone. But once I pay my bills, I ain't got nothing to come home with. So I got to do those two things. So you wouldn't stay here long enough, but I could show you how there was no weapon but they charged him with the weapon. I can show you directly how they botched his case, how they changed the scene of the alleged crime to make it stick, how they lined and how they added more stuff in between the sworn affidavit up into trial to escalate it up to make it almost attempted deletion. I could show you all of it, but you wouldn't stay here long enough to listen. But yet people still don't believe wrongful convictions happen. So it's kind of what put me on my purpose of just covering them. So I just came across a new wrongful conviction story. And this is the story of Anthony Broadwater. His accuser, now this is crazy. Okay, first he spent 16 years wrongfully incarcerated. His accuser is best-selling author Alice Sebold. She is the author of 2 books that we know of. The first is Lucky, which is the story of her being attacked allegedly by Anthony Broadwater, right? And the second is probably something that you've heard of, Lovely Bones. It was a book that turned into a movie. That movie was crazy when I watched that with my little girl and her friends, and it just terrified the life out of me. If you ever seen Lovely Bones, very good movie. But the author alleged that a man attacked and arred her. And she ended up, it went cold. The case went cold. They couldn't find the person. And all of a sudden, when out and about, she pinpoints somebody and says, "It's him. I know it's him. It's him." They go arrest him. This is Anthony Broadwater, and proceed to wrongfully convict him. And at the time, they just went on her word. They also, I've done research and covered other stories where they say even the eyewitness, most wrongful convictions, there are 2 things: prosecutorial misconduct and eyewitness misidentification. The victim in a crime itself is nothing more in court than an eyewitness. And they said many times that their testimony is even more unreliable than someone, an onlooker, because they're going through the moment and they have all these emotions, and then they black out. They don't remember certain things. So their testimony is even actually less. Their eyewitness is even less I don't know the word to put there, but it's even less authentic, right, than somebody just seeing it happen. But they still base cases on these 2 things in almost every single wrongful conviction case. Those are one of the 2 reasons why the person was even wrongfully convicted. Well, she got it wrong. She picked out the wrong man. And when she, at this time, this happened in 1982, when I was only 1 year old, girl. So this man's life had been going through it for the longest. He spent 16 years wrongfully incarcerated for something he did not do. I'm sure he pleaded to everyone around him. People brushed him off. People closed their ears. They plugged their ears. When his family members were saying, "No, he's innocent," they were telling him to shut up. You're just defending a criminal, and you can't find nothing better to do. And the police don't arrest the wrong guys. And a jury of 12 is not just going to find you guilty just to be mean. Those are the things they tell me. So I know they told his loved ones that. So I'm sure he put up defense and got nowhere. Appeals, they don't get you. Even when you have grounds for these things don't alleviate you from your wrongful conviction. And what ended up happening, this is crazy. See, God give you justice. This is ironic. before Lovely Bones, they were looking to make Lucky a movie. And as the person that was going to fund the film and all of that stuff was going into the story, he's like, it's not lining up. The storyline and the actual transcripts are not aligning, like with him being the culprit. And that's when he said, nope, I can't fund this film. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to drop it. Now, I don't know how she ended up getting Lovely Bones funded or whatever, but he dropped that. And then he proceeded to investigate the story, the case. And he's the one that uncovered, he had a team of investigators that found Anthony Broadwater to be innocent. And when it was brought to Alice Sebold that, hey, you pinpointed the wrong person, you caused the wrong person to be incarcerated for that. So now, even her, in this system, she did not even get justice. Because the man that attacked her stayed out on the streets all this time. Probably attacking more people. She didn't even get justice. See how wrongful convictions rob all of us of justice, not just the person wrongfully incarcerated. It robs the victim as well. She didn't even get justice, and she may not, because it's been 16 years. Well, it's been even longer now, because this is an old case. But she caused her own self not to get justice, and he didn't get justice. And they said when they was trying to catch up with her to get a statement on how she felt about it, there was no word. She just continued to walk her dog. And then later she releases a statement, this was 3 years ago, that she's very sorry, and she's sorry for the life she took of whatever he could have been. You cannot, a wrongful conviction, you cannot pay the person back. Even though I've covered many stories where people get millions of dollars, it's still not worth what you took from the person. You can't give it back. You can't give my husband back the first step with our daughter. And for that means you can't even give him back the first step with our granddaughter. You can't give it back. You took that from him. You can't return it. All that I'm asking is that you let him go now, so that he can try to get the pieces of his life back together. And I'm going to end on this one little, I'm sorry. Let me read the rest of this. And then I'm going to end on a little rap, because that's how I started trying to break my husband's story through spoken word poetry, which turned into rap, which turned into music, which turned into books and illustrations and these crazy hair pieces to bring your attention. And then I tell you my story, which spawned all of this. It started as poetry into rap. So I'm going to end on that. But let me read the rest of the statement. Okay, his accuser, best-selling author, Alice Sebold, she was attacked in 1982. In 2021, Broadwater was exonerated after it was revealed that there were issues with the original conviction, including unreliable forensic evidence, that's junk science and stuff they put in there, and potential coaching of Sebold's testimony. That's them telling you what to say. That's why in my husband's case, the victims can't get their story straight, because they can't remember. One was on substances, so he was doing like this. So of course his mind gone anyway. But they couldn't remember what they were told to say. Just like they were told to cross out 80 and write in 60 so that it can align. Okay, Sebold's testimony by the prosecutor. So how can a prosecutor potentially coach Sebold in what to say? The prosecutor, they're only supposed to be there for justice. They're not supposed to lean this way or that way. They're not supposed to be just trying to get the conviction. They're trying to get justice, supposedly. for entertainment purposes. My opinion, they're supposed to be there for justice. So if the person really didn't do it, they're supposed to be there to find that the person really didn't do it. But I find in many of these wrongful conviction cases, when there is evidence showing that the person is innocent, that's exculpatory evidence, that is taken out of the case. And all they present the case on, the case is not flat. It's not this side or that side like a piece of paper. Like this a paper, a case is not a paper. This ain't no case. A case is more of a 3D object. There's multi sides, and you need to see all sides to get the truth. Verdict means truth. The truth, there's only one truth, and the truth does not need tampering to come out. So I'm going to leave with, and we're probably going to review that story a little bit more, but that man, and there's some states that don't even pay you. They just open the door once you finally break your story. Some do, some don't. But I'm going to leave you with this rap. We'll probably go back to his case some. I need to get back to reviewing these cases. I've got to get out of my feelings. About everything. I got to get out of my feelings and get back to work. But trying to put the pieces of my family back together. To get him back, man, I'ma do whatever. Cause I made this vow that I will stay with him forever. And I ain't gonna stop until the moment we together. Yeah, here's your girl Cadillac. Yes, I said for better or worse. I did not say I was gonna be by his side for better or better. So this is why I've been through this whole wrongful conviction with him. Alright guys, talk to you later.